Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take a look at the Halo Flashpoint Errata for April 2025. We have an FAQ and an errata. We'll do the errata first. What I'll do first, before we get into that, is actually show you where the errata is. So it used to be the FAQs and erratas were just on the bottom of the page before the app launched. There's a link there, but this sadly hasn't been updated. So this is the January one where there was just a few little tweaks. So all of this hasn't changed, this is still there, but it has just been compiled in a different place. So if you're using the app, what you need to do is go to the Rules tab, and then scroll down the bottom, you have got FAQ, and then you've got errata changes. Rules commentary has not changed, that is exactly as it was back in January. And as I say, we've got an FAQ to run over, and we've got the errata log. So the errata log, everything in red is new or revised text. And as I say, this is Rules version 1.1, which is updated April 2025, last week basically when the app dropped. So let's run through this one. Pinning. Models may no longer be moved when pinned. Remove the line of text in the rules where a model may be laid down and replace with, place a pin token next to it or on your model's character card. So how I do this one is I would probably put it on the character card, but it's also how your opponent, because your opponent needs to know what's going on as well. If your opponent's happy with that, if not, just stick it by the model. But no more laying your painted beautiful models down and potentially risk them getting chipped or marked or anything like that. It's honestly, yeah, I prefer this change. It doesn't change how the rule works. It's just how you're representing the pinned, and yeah, I just don't like laying my models down and things. I don't like doing it in Necromunda, stuff like that, so this is actually not really a change, it's more of a clarification, but I'm very happy with that. Sticky has had some changes. So Sticky is now, if 3 or more successes are rolled when making the range test for this weapon, it will deplete all the energy shields of one model. This will be the target model, or one model in the target cube chosen by the attacking player, whichever applies to that ranged weapon type. Line of sight is no longer required. So 2 changes there. The first one is it's now 3 or more successes instead of 2 or more successes. And the other change is that line of sight is not needed. So a little bit of a nerf with I would say a substantial buff. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I don't know. We've had an amendment to Return to Sender, the new Spartan rule that came in with the Wargames pack. Add the following text to the final paragraph. When using Return to Sender, resolve this action fully to determine where any effects of grenades happen. They will only affect the final destination of the grenade. This would include keywords like blast, sticky, EMP, etc. I think that's quite straightforward addition there. Flight has had a little bit of a clarification. So a model with this keyword can pass through cubes without walls or floors during their movement, and may change levels without climbing up or down terrain. The model must end its move in a cube and position that allows it to be physically placed on the gaming table. If the model falls, it will not take damage or be pinned. The addition, this is not free movement, and the model still requires enough cubes of movement to do so. So it's just reining that in, a little tweak there. Oddball Reloaded has had a change in how the oddball interacts with certain keywords. So clarification text added to the scenario that clears up when the ball is dropped. So the ball is dropped either by successful rapid fire action or suppression, regardless of the following pinned result. And all of that is laid out if you need more clarification in the Oddball Reloaded scenario. Rules commentary, we've got no changes here. This is just the old stuff that hopefully you guys are aware of. How about we take a look at the FAQ now? So again, April 2025, and we have quite a few things here, so let's run through this. Question, can a model move up to the top of a height 2 building using 2 cubes of movement? Answer, yes. You can move up to your full speed stat as long as you have a wall or object to climb and have a solid floor to start and end your movement action on. Question, does rapid fire also trigger ESD? Answer, no, rapid fire does not trigger ESD as it does not score hits. It either succeeds or fails. Question, how does fast transition interact with evade? So fast transition allows your Spartan, or elite at this point, to make 2 shooting attacks with 2 different weapons. And evade, when an unpinned model with the evade keyword is the subject of a shoot action but is not killed or pinned, or subject to any forced movement, it may make an immediate 1 cube advance action, and this may trigger an assault action as normal. So this is just confirming how they interact with each other. So fast transition states that you must declare the target of both weapons and then resolve the dice rolls for the first weapon completely, which is when evade would trigger if it's still alive. This would include any reactions that may occur from that initial shoot action. If you are then eligible to shoot your second weapon, resolve the dice rolls from this second shoot action. Hopefully you can still get that second shot off. If you need to, you can, but if for whatever reason evade counters that, or it's moved anywhere, the advance has taken it into melee combat with you, you won't be able to do that second shoot action. Question: if frag/implosion weapons hit a cube with an energy shield barrier, how are the energy barrier shields allocated? Answer: the attack affects all models simultaneously and every model has the benefit of the energy shield barrier. ESB will then deplete by the highest amount required by those models. Question: how do energy shield barriers interact with sticky? Answer: if the attacking player rolls the required successes with a weapon with a sticky keyword, the chosen model will have all of their personal energy shields depleted and may not use the energy shield barrier against this attack. Other models in the cube may use personal energy shields and the energy shield barrier against the frag hits. So with sticky, you pick your target, it sticks to them so they can't interact with the barrier, but after that it functions exactly as normal. Question: can I add a command dice to my move action to increase it? Answer: no, command dice are an entirely separate action and cannot be chained into other actions. They still follow all the rules applicable to their action. Question: when a model carrying a picked up weapon dies, can another model pick up that weapon from the respawn point on their activation? Answer: yes, the weapon is placed into the friendly respawn point as per the rules, and any model that respawns on your team can equip it on respawn. Question: what is the correct turn sequence to start my game? Answer: the correct sequence is 1. Set up the battlefield, 2. Place items and weapon drop markers, 3. Roll for recon if used, 4. Deploy, 5. Perform recon effects if used, 6. Perform scout moves, 7. Roll for weapon drop and any random scenario objectives, for example the hill in King of the Hill, 8. Roll for command dice, 9. Begin game. And finally, question: what happens when a model is knocked back into a cube at capacity? Answer: page 28 in the rulebook. Scatter. Models that are forced into a cube at capacity will remain where they are, if on the same level, or scatter again, if it has already fallen to a lower level. Hopefully that clears everything up. If you have any questions, that answers those questions. But that's us covered for the April update. I'll keep my eye, I don't know how often they're going to do these. I'm not sure if it's, I think a season was going to be every 6 months. These might be every 3 because we had one in January, or potentially just as changes happen and things need to be addressed with new units and new keywords and things coming in. With this game being a slightly slower rollout and factions, well, we're not getting a new faction or any new models until July. We might not get one until August time, which would be fine. But if anything comes up, obviously I will let you guys know. Let me know what you thought of these changes in the comments. If you have any questions and I can answer them, shoot them in the comment section. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.